Our next question sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Arbaz Khan in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Jim, what are your thoughts on Dolph Ziggler? I personally think he is a star that could have a huge wrestling career in WWE. Why do you think Vince did not see anything in him when Pat Patterson did?
I have no earthly idea. And I gotta be, I didn't see Dolph coming. When I knew he was a nice guy. I knew he was a good athlete. He had a amateur wrestling background. When they sent him to OVW, he didn't seem like a guy that was going to have an over-the-top personality and be just a fireball kind of guy and blah, blah, blah. But he had never really, I'm trying to think, did we get him from scratch? Had he ever wrestled professionally? I don't think he had. So the point is, knew he was a good athlete. They put him in that Spirit Squad thing. He wasn't in OVW a ton of time. I didn't think he was nearly as progressed as far along as Johnny Jeter or Mike Mondo, and he wasn't at the time. But whatever happened to him, he really kicked it in. And then a couple of years later is when I started seeing him, because I didn't watch the show a lot, but I saw him, and, since he's one of the old OVW guys, I thought, my God, it reminded me of a second coming of Curt Hennig. The way he moved, the fucking naturalness of it, the fucking facials, the goddamn body language, the hustle. And yes, Curt overbumped sometimes and was a little, it was a little overdone. And Ziggler does the same thing, but it works because it's just so effortless with him. And so I was really, every time that I've seen, and I haven't seen him in a long time, good God, is he still there? How long's he been gone? I haven't seen Dolph Ziggler, now to think about it, in a long time.
I think he's still there. I don't know if he's wrestling. I think he was managing for a little while, but he's definitely still there, I think.
Well, when we don't watch Raw and SmackDown, but you'd think he'd be on one of these big events they keep foisting down our throat. Anyway.
He's one of those guys that if he left WWE and decided to stay in wrestling and not try to strike out as a comedian or anything, you have to think, like, someone like that goes to New Japan and all of a sudden everyone starts evaluating them in a different way. Like, oh my God, I had no idea this guy was so amazing.
Well, but he wouldn't be amazing in New Japan because it's New Japan looks more like AEW these days than actual traditional professional wrestling. Curt Hennig would not want to work in New Japan these days. We'd say, these guys are a bunch of fucking marks. They're really hitting me. Dolph Ziggler, like Curt Hennig, was a classic American-style professional wrestling performer, and I don't know why that Pat's advice didn't sink in. I don't know why that they've minimized him like they have. His work was impeccable. He was exciting to watch. From what I saw several years ago when I'd seen some of it, he could fucking talk. Every time that I would see him, he would put on pretty much of a fucking clinic, and then I would constantly read that, well, they're burying Ziggler. They don't do anything with Ziggler. So I don't know what the problem is, but, I think if they've still got him under contract, he's probably happy to take as much money as he's getting for as little work as he can do, and he's a stand-up comedian and whatever else he's doing, because, my God, he'd be 40 now, I would think, because he was in OVW over 15 years ago. And why does he want to fucking paralyze himself for these people when they don't appreciate him? I don't blame him.